What's up, Banter fam? Good morning, good morning. Today, I have a massive show planned for you guys. I've found 3 altcoins, which I think could be a really good plays in the DeFi ecosystem that are paying some crazy yield. So I'll go through some interesting developments in DeFi and some altcoins, which I think could perform very well in April and beyond. And then I'll also show you at the end of the video, if you stick around, a strategy that I like to earn 250% on a very promising altcoin. So I'll go through that. If you stick around till the end of the video, make sure you smash the like button on this video for these strategies. I think they're really good ones, and one of these ecosystems is being quite slept on at the moment, and I think it is undervalued. But let's get straight into the show, because we had a lot of stuff happen over the weekend. Obviously, this Luna price hit its all-time high. The Luna growth has been phenomenal. Congratulations to all Luna holders. We've all made quite a lot of money on Luna, presumably. And if you haven't, there are still opportunities in the ecosystem, which I will be showing you today. But the Luna price has been performing very well. And a lot of people are asking me now, should I be taking profits on Luna? Now that Luna has pushed into all-time highs at 115, people are saying, well, maybe now's the time to take profits. We know we shouldn't be too greedy when the market's pumping. We should look to take some profits to the side. And I have a good profits taking strategy for you guys right now. So for all the people asking me about this, there was an interesting tweet yesterday, and it said, there is no need to make the difficult decision to sell Luna at all-time highs. Borrow against the portion you feel to sell at a max LTV of 76%. Worst case, you get partially liquidated, no problem. Best case, you never sold your Luna second wallet strategy. And I actually think this is quite a smart strategy. So what they're saying here is you can put your Luna into Anchor Protocol. You can borrow against your Luna, so you'll mint UST, so you'll get stablecoins in return. And if the Luna price drops and you get liquidated, then you're forced to sell through liquidation, which means taking profits. And then if the Luna price keeps pumping, well, you still have exposure to Luna, but then you also have UST, which you've accrued, and you can reinvest into other projects to diversify. So this is quite a good solution, in my opinion, for people that maybe want to take profits on Luna, but are really unsure. So I'll just show you how to do this quickly, because I think it's interesting. You want to go into the Borrow tab of Anchor Protocol here. You want to click on borrow. You are sacrificing quite a large net APR at the moment, so that is a consideration. But if you click borrow, I'm not logged into my wallet, but it should pop up. Then you can mint B Luna with your Luna, which bonded Luna is the collateralized version that you put into Anchor. And then you can set it so your LTV is 76% on Anchor Protocol. So this means you will be liquidated if Luna drops just a few percent. But if you were going to take profits anyway, this could be a good strategy, because you will be liquidated out of some of your Luna, which forces you to sell, but then you can also retain some UST, which you can reinvest into other projects. So I just wanted to point that out, because a lot of people are a bit torn on whether to buy or sell. Remember, once you borrow against your Luna, you are minting B Luna, but what this means is that it is a taxable event. So for people where tax considerations are a big consideration, then maybe consider don't doing this strategy. This is more for people that aren't worried about tax, but do want to take profits in a way where they can still retain exposure to Luna. So I think that is a good strategy. But there's another strategy on Luna which is heating up. And this is probably the narrative which I think's heating up faster than Luna itself. And it's exploded over the last month or so. And I think there is still room to run with this project. And this narrative is Astroport. Obviously, a lot of you guys did get in when Rand did his call. I think Rand called it at like 70 cents, and it absolutely exploded up to $3. Congratulations to everyone that got in on Astroport. It was a very good call. But there are some things heating up in this ecosystem, and there's a compelling reason, which I'm going to show you guys now, which suggests that this run may not be over. Now, I know that sounds crazy because it has already pumped from 70 cents to $3, but there are some compelling reasons that I have, and I want to show you guys right now that could suggest that the Astro run might not yet be over. And I also want to give you an opportunity within this ecosystem for you guys to be able to profit, because I know some of you guys missed this big pump, but I think there is still room to profit in this ecosystem. And right now, I'm going to run you through one of the ways you can do that. So this is the Astro Wars. And if you guys aren't aware, Astroport launched their vxASTRO staking. So now you can stake Astro for vxASTRO and you can earn yield on your Astro. They're paying out some crazy rewards. but this has actually started something called the Astro Wars. And this is really new news for you guys right now. It literally just broke. So this is quite a new development. And I want you guys to be ahead of this narrative. And potentially we might be able to catch this because there are some interesting plays coming out of it. So this is a must read for Terra Bulls. Here's a thread on why you should front run the Astro Wars by accumulating more Astro now because you are not long enough. Very, very bullish, but he gives some compelling reasons as to why. So Astroport is obviously the main DEX on Luna, and they released their staking function so you can stake Astro and get vxASTRO. Now, a portion of these trading fees that Astroport accrues from vxASTRO are used to buy back Astro, which will then be given to vxASTRO holders. So you are highly incentivized to stake because you'll receive a share of the revenue back. What are vxASTRO points? vxASTRO points are a point system, not a token, which is not transferable to another wallet. So by staking your Astro, you earn these vxASTRO points, which is opening up an interesting dynamic at the moment within the Astro ecosystem. So Astroport LPers, meaning if you create a liquidity pair on Astroport on incentivized pools, you can get boosted Astro emissions of up to 250% on regular Astro emissions. So the more points that you accrue, the more emissions that are directed towards your pools, aka you earn more money for staking in the pools. This gets really interesting though, because yes, you can buy Astro and stake for vxASTRO. You lock that vxASTRO to receive vxASTRO points, meaning you have to lock it up for a certain time period. Locked vxASTRO cannot be unstaked until the lock expires. So like Liquid Driver and like Convex, you need to lock up your tokens for a certain period of time. The max lock is 2 years, and that's going to give you the maximum boost to be able to earn more vxASTRO points. And the more points you accrue, the more you can boost your pools. Very similar to what we're seeing with Curve and Convex, very similar to what we're seeing with Beethoven with the Beats Wars, but now it's happening on Luna. And this only started happening like a day ago, so you guys are super new to this narrative, and I'll show you how you can get involved because it's very, very, very interesting. In short, LPers will fight to buy enough Astro to maximize their LP yield. But in practice, nobody wants to lock up their Astro for 2 years. I mean, you guys probably, if you've got Astro, you don't want to lock it up for 2 years either. You want to keep your tokens liquid, especially in a volatile market. But that is where the Astro accumulators come in. And this is where these Astro Wars start to begin. And I'll break this down for you guys right now. What are Astro accumulators? They're protocols designed to accumulate Astro and lock them for vxASTRO points for a max 2-year period. So what they'll do is they'll take your Astro and they will stake it in the vxASTRO pool. Then they will take that Astro and they will, the vxASTRO, and then they will lock it up for 2 years. So they'll lock it up for you. So they're going to receive all the emissions from the max lock boost. But you, as the Astro holder, you can deposit Astro through these accumulators and retain liquidity. So similar to what we see in Lido Finance with liquid staking, this is similar because you can stake your Astro through these accumulators, retain liquidity of your Astro, so you're free to do what you want with your Astro, and you can still get exposure to this narrative because you're still going to get the emissions, but you can withdraw whenever you want. So you're not locking up your Astro for 2 years. They're locking up on your behalf. So these accumulators have just launched, or they're just launching. So there's 3 that I have my eye on, and 3 that I think have the chance to really steal some market share here. 1 is Retrograde Money. This hasn't launched yet. 2 is Reactor Money. This hasn't launched yet either. And 3 is Apollo DAO, which has launched and are already accumulating, but they aren't offering a single-sided Astro stake yet. But all these will come, so we're super early to the narrative here. If you're familiar with the Curve and Convex relationship on ETH, basically Astroport is Curve and the Astro accumulators are the Convex of this ecosystem. So could we see a potential Astro Wars start to come into fruition here, like we saw with Curve and Convex? Potentially. I mean, Luna has the market share and has the users to really push a narrative like this forward. So I do think that this is potentially a good play to have. So what would I actually do to get involved? Well, the Apollo War Chest is already live. We can see that they're already accumulating $3.86 million of vxASTRO. The more vxASTRO that they accrue and these other accumulators accrue, the more that they can boost their emissions. And that is paid out to the holders of their tokens. So if you hold Apollo's tokens, if you hold Retrograde's money and tokens, and you hold Reactor's tokens, these plays could potentially be more profitable than Astro itself. So since Retrograde and Reactor aren't launched right now, what I would do is, as actionable advice to you guys, is I would go into Twitter. I'd follow Retrograde. I'd follow Reactor. So then when they launch, you're going to be right ahead of the curve. You're going to be able to pick up these tokens when they launch. Obviously, it's high risk within the first week of launch. So maybe give it a couple of weeks to see how things play out. But if you can start accumulating these tokens, then you will be front running the Astro narrative because they'll be accruing Astro, boosting their own pools, and you could potentially receive those boosted emissions. In the meantime, until they're launched, well, you can simply stake your Astro. There's nothing wrong with coming into the staking tab of Astroport, staking your Astro and for vxASTRO and receiving 50% APR. I think it's 44% now. If you recompound that, it's roughly 50%. So there's nothing wrong with doing this in the time being. In fact, if you have Astroport, I would recommend doing that in the time being. Coming in, staking your Astroport, and then obviously receiving the rewards from that. And then when these accumulators, so these convex type protocols start launching, then getting involved in them and potentially staking your Astro through them. But as I said, I'd give it a couple of weeks to see how it plays out once they launch. But this could be a big narrative. And I think the narrative is biggest for Astro, honestly, because all these accumulators are going to need to buy Astro. There will be sustained buy pressure on the Astro token and also reduced supply, because they need to lock up this Astro for 2 years in order to receive these rewards. So that reduces the circulating supply of Astro as more people lock it. Now, I know Astro's pumped. It has had quite a big run up over the last month, and it's hard to recommend buying into highs. I'll be completely honest. Buying at $3, really not good risk management in my opinion. However, as I said, the accumulators are probably the best play now to run this Astroport narrative. And also, if we get a dip, I think you should be buying Astroport. Maybe if we push down towards the $2 mark, I know it seems like we'll never get down there again, but you guys know these coins, they fluctuate. And Astroport could easily be sold off on a day if we get a dump. And that's when you can pick some up and get involved in this narrative. So I think that is a really, really big one for you guys. And I think this is going to be a good play long term. I do have a massive strategy for you guys, though. I've got an ecosystem to show you that is being really slept on. And compared to 250% APR, it's one of my favorite staking strategies at the moment. And I want to show you and reveal this to you because I think it's going to be a great play. But just before I reveal that to you guys, I want to announce an awesome giveaway that we are going to be running throughout Bitcoin Miami. You guys know I'm going to Bitcoin Miami. I'm super, super excited. I think I leave tonight. So this is my last stream before I am in Miami. But I wanted to celebrate it with you guys and actually give something back to the community while I'm over there at the conference. So we are teaming up with MEXC throughout the Bitcoin conference to give away you guys some awesome rewards. So MEXC, it's a really cool exchange. What I do like about MEXC that other exchanges don't really have at the moment is a deep amount of tokens to select from. So they've got SpiritSwap, they've got Stargate, a lot of tokens that aren't launched on other exchanges, MEXC does have. So I do like that about the exchange. And also they run some really nice giveaways for the community. They did this Tesla trading competition last week. And I think it's just a nice interface to use. You can see it's like other exchanges, but it has many more tokens than a lot of exchanges. So I do like MEXC, but we want to give back to the community throughout Miami. So we're giving you free stuff, as you can see just there. So all you need to do is go to the link in the description, sign up for a MEXC account, deposit $100. And if you just deposit $100, you don't even need to trade it. Just deposit, and then you are in the running to win some Bitcoin. We're going to be giving away $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to 5 users. So we're giving away $5,000 for free. Super simple. Who doesn't like free money? Link in the description, guys. If you sign up, really easy. Fund your account with $100. You don't need to trade, and we can literally give you $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to celebrate Bitcoin Miami. We are going to be running this giveaway over the whole week that I'm in Miami. So you do have a week to get involved. But after the conference is over, the giveaway is over. So there is a limited time on this. If you want to be in the running to win free Bitcoin, you will need to sign up throughout this week. And I'll be obviously promoting this throughout the conference because I think I want to give back to the community and give you guys some awesome rewards. I will get back into the strategy now, but I think MEXC is a great exchange for you guys to use. And obviously, link is in the description to sign up. Yep, it's Santa. It's like a Christmas giveaway, giving away Bitcoin to all of you guys, which will be good for the winners, of course. So let's get into this next strategy because I think there is one ecosystem that's being slept on at the moment and an ecosystem that's been quiet for some time, but we are seeing it start to pick up again. We're seeing this ecosystem honestly starting to explode. I can't even lie. The price is up like 70% this week. But I still think this is just the beginning for this ecosystem. And I'm talking about DOTSAMA. So this DOTSAMA narrative, I mean, it's been really quiet. We saw Moonriver, we saw Moonbeam be quite slow for a long time. They didn't really move much. But now we are seeing these ecosystems starting to pick up again. We're starting to see some volume come back, especially for a token like Moonbeam. And it's becoming clear after the Ronin hack, after the wormhole exploits, that interoperability is a real focus of crypto. Obviously, Vitalik came out and famously said that the future is multi-chain, but the future is not cross-chain. And I'm starting to believe this because we're seeing the vulnerability of these bridges. We're seeing massive exploits. The Ronin hack was over 600 million. So these blockchains which are interoperable and have these ecosystems where you can easily bridge between chains, these ecosystems, I think, are the future of crypto. And obviously, DOTSAMA does fit into this narrative quite well because that's the whole point of Polkadot. It's to be interoperable. And these L1s that are facilitating this, I think could do really, really well. So I do want to talk about Moonbeam today, and I'm going to show you an amazing strategy on Moonbeam to earn 250% at the end of this video. So Moonbeam. What a week it has been for Moonbeam holders. If we look at the chart here and look through some of this price action, it did have some ugly price action for a while. And as I showed in my tokenomics video, this was largely due to the fact that there was massive investor unlocks. So many investors were dumping their tokens because their emissions schedule was quite steep within the first few months. But now we're seeing the emissions are starting to taper off a bit. And the demand side is now pulling up the price of Moonbeam now that some of these dumps are seemingly over. So what is happening now, the Moonbeam price is exploding because we're seeing this interoperable narrative come back into fruition. And we're now seeing that the price of Moonbeam is exploding. But why do I actually like Moonbeam? Let's look into the fundamentals because the price going up is never a reason to invest in something in crypto. We want to make sure the fundamentals are sound first. So let's look through some of the fundamentals. Let's do a little price analysis here and go through why I think Moonbeam could be a good play and then show you some staking options to get involved. So we don't need to buy into all-time highs. We can accumulate through staking. So Moonbeam is essentially an L1 built underneath Polkadot. It won the second parachain auction on DOT, which was obviously great for early investors of Moonbeam. But what it's actually doing is it's giving DOT L1 power. So it is going to be that kind of Ether V2 style L1 that is underpinning the DOT ecosystem. And obviously being built under Polkadot has its advantages over something like a Moonriver, which is on Kusama, because this is kind of the main game, right? This is the ecosystem that I think a lot of developers are going to start developing on. Moonbeam has great technology and it's EVM compatible. So it's very, very easy to deploy dApps, similar to something like an AVAX and a Fantom. Moonbeam is on MetaMask. You can deploy dApps quite easily if you're a developer. So I think it is a good protocol. And I want to look through some statistics because we saw this massive spike. The transactions went from 35,000 to 130,000 in a day. Now, obviously, spikes can be caused for multiple reasons. There can be new protocols that are launched. The market can be pumping, and that can hype the transactions temporarily. But I do think that the fundamentals here are very strong. And I think this uptick could be here to stay. I mean, we don't want to see it crash right back down to 35K. But if Moonbeam can consistently grow its transactions and get more days like this of 130,000 transactions, then that's very, very bullish for the ecosystem. So I do think Moonbeam is showing a bit of an increase in interest now. And we can see this through the address chart as well. If we go back like a month ago, the active daily increase was like 400 to 600 a day. These past few days, we've seen 3,600, 1,000 as well. We've seen basically consistently over 1,000 for the last couple of weeks. So we're seeing an increase in addresses, which is good as well. So I always like to look at the on-chain metrics. I wouldn't say they're exploding. It doesn't look like that massive crazy phantom chart we saw a month ago with the transaction spiking, but it does look like consistent growth to me. And I'm always looking for protocols that are exhibiting consistent growth in DeFi. And I think Moonbeam can be one of those L1s. Obviously, it's pumped. So I don't recommend buying into these hypes pump once again, but I'm going to show you a strategy to take advantage of the ecosystem as well. The ecosystem though, wow. We have seen massive growth across Moonbeam. We've seen multiple protocols, the dexes, the bridges are up like 20, 30% for the week. StellaSwap, which is the main dex on Moonbeam, is up 16% for the week, which is a pretty big growth for a dex. So let's go through StellaSwap, because that is the best place to farm on Moonbeam right now. And let's go through some of the strategies that I'm liking at the moment on Moonbeam to take advantage of this ecosystem. I do think long-term, Moonbeam or GLMR is a very solid protocol. And I think it has lots of room to grow with a market cap of $1 billion. I think it's still relatively undervalued compared to other L1s. And I think it's got room to grow. So why not get involved in some farms? Maybe even just with a little bit of capital while the price is high, get some exposure to some of these farms and just learn how the Moonbeam ecosystem works. So when we really explode, you're all over it. And you've already been farming in StellaSwap. You already know how it works. So let's go through the farms now. I'll show you my favorite farms and I'll run you through step by step how to get involved and how to stake on StellaSwap. So let's just go through the farm list right now. There's multiple farms which are paying very high APRs. So they're incentivizing with the Stella token, which is the native token of the DEX, and they're also paying out Moonbeam. So for most of these pools, you'll either be rewarded in Stella or Moonbeam. And this is quite good because there's multiple options we can then do with those rewards within the Moonbeam ecosystem. So let's look through these farms. We have Atom GLMR. I think this is one of my favorite ones. So just to state right now, if you're going to get into a pool with GLMR, you need to be bullish on Moonbeam. So you're obviously not investing in a Moonbeam pool if you're not a believer in the Moonbeam token itself. So for something like Atom GLMR, the first thing you have to do is work out, one, am I bullish on Moonbeam? If the answer is yes, then the second question is the token that I'm pairing with. One, am I bullish on that token? And two, how much impermanent loss can I be receiving to expect on an LP like this? So something like Atom GLMR, you're going to need both tokens like Atom and Moonbeam to move in tandem with each other. If they balance too far away from each other, so if Atom crashes and GLMR pumps, then obviously that's an issue because they're going to be rebalancing the pool and you're going to lose out to impermanent loss. But the pools that you get in where the tokens move simultaneously, you're getting A, the capital growth from, say, GLMR and Atom going up, and B, you're getting a massive APR, 140%, which in DeFi these days is a lot. I mean, I'm not going to lie, we have seen the DeFi yields drop over the last month, but this isn't dropping. This is massive. And, I haven't seen APRs this high in a popular EVM compatible ecosystem probably since Fantom really took off in November. So Moonbeam is looking to me like this DeFi is mirroring kind of what Fantom did in November. So Atom GLMR 140, that's a pool I like if you're bullish on Atom. But you've got some interesting options here. I think Stella USDC could be an interesting play. Obviously, the Stella token is emitted, so that could be an issue if it's diluted. But that's paying up to 250%. And I think that's an interesting one too. If you're bullish on Moonbeam, probably the best pool to get into would be USDC GLMR because that's paying 118%. And even if GLMR 5x's or even 10x's, if you're in the pool for long enough, say you stay in for a year, and the APR can hold above 50%, then you're still going to be in profit. You can use an impermanent loss calculator to work out in what scenario you'd be profiting and losing money to impermanent loss. But typically, my rule of thumb is that if the APR is over 118%, it's going to take a massive crash or a massive pump to offset the APR. So USDC GLMR is one of those pools I'd be getting into if I was bullish on Moonbeam. But we're seeing 22% on stables as well. So we got DAI USDC, USDC, USDT at 22%. So for those who want to go a little bit safer, you can get into these pools. And these aren't small pools. 7 million, I mean, it's relatively small compared to something like a Stargate, but it's still not massive. So you do still have a little bit of room to milk this APR in the short term before this is diluted, let's say to 10 million plus. So you got a little bit of time here with these pools. So some of these pools are amazing. I do want to show you a Fantom pool as well, because Moonbeam, being EVM compatible, has great bridges. So you can actually, if you're a Fantom holder, come over and put Fantom into Moonbeam. So you can go Fantom USDC for 70%, Fantom GLMR for 120%, which is a very, very good yield. I mean, Fantom USDC in Liquid Drive is paying like 40, 50% now. So you're actually getting better yields on your Fantom on StellaSwap than you are on Fantom now. So that's cool as well. And obviously, Luna GLMR is great because I'm bullish on the Luna token. I think GLMR has room to run as well. So if you're interested in both these ecosystems and you think they're going to rise the tide together as the crypto market rises, then this could be a good play as well. Note liquidity is fairly low, but it's at 107%. So let me show you how to get involved. So you do need to pick your pool. I can't tell you what pool to get into because that will depend on what you're bullish on, but I can tell you my favorites. I do like Atom GLMR because you're getting dual rewards. You're getting Stella and Moonbeam. I do like these stable pools, very high stablecoin yields. If you want to diversify out of UST, obviously UST is great at 20%, but we do have to hold some stables in others stables as well, just in case of DPEG risk. And I do like this USDC GLMR pool because it's paying 117%. If you're bullish on Moonbeam, this is a very high yield. And then I find these two interesting. Luna GLMR and Fantom GLMR or Fantom USDC is very interesting because you can't get those kind of yields on Luna or Fantom in their native dexes anymore, like SpookySwap, Astroport. It's kind of they're not really around anymore. So StellaSwap is giving you an opportunity to still earn those yields over here. So how do you pull? It's actually quite simple. So because StellaSwap is EVM compatible, Moonbeam's EVM compatible, all you need is a MetaMask wallet and you can add the Moonbeam network. So bridging becomes really, really easy. So to bridge your assets across, you can click on bridge here and click on the native bridge. That will give you the native bridge from Moonbeam. And that will enable you to swap from Moonbeam to Ethereum or any of these networks here. Or you can swap from Polygon, Ethereum, AVAX to Moonbeam. Let's say you want to stake USDC and it's on Ethereum. You can bridge it over to Moonbeam using this native bridge up here. Or if you're on Fantom, you can go over to Multichain, and this interface here will let you bridge across from Fantom. So if you want to get in that Fantom pool, all you need to do is, my MetaMask is popping up, but all you need to do is switch across to the Fantom mainnet and then select the Moonbeam mainnet as well on the other side. So if you use multi-chain through the bridge function here, you can bridge from Terra. So you can bridge using your Terra Station wallet. You can bridge from Fantom. And also you've got the native bridge to bridge from other EVM compatible chains. So that's how you get your assets over. But how do you actually pool once your assets are on the Moonbeam network? That's a good question. So you go over to pool here. It's this pool tab in the top left corner. And you can add a liquidity position. So you click add, and then this is how you pair tokens. So let's say you wanted to get involved in that GLMR USDC pool. All you need to do is enter GLMR USDC under pool, and then you can add them together to create LP tokens. Once you have these LP tokens, obviously you can do any pool you want. You can do the Fantom USDC pool. You can do the GLMR Luna pool. It's whatever pool you want. You just add the assets together. And you click add liquidity down here if your MetaMask is connected. Once you've done that, you just head back over to farm and you can deposit under these pools. So let's say USDC GLMR, you just select the amount of LP tokens that you want to stake and you can stake them. And it's a very, very high yield. I don't think these yields will last forever. We know in DeFi, the yields tend to drop over a period of time, but this is a good option for you guys. But what do you do with rewards? That's another question. Because now you know how to pool and then stake inside these LPs. What do you do with your rewards? Well, firstly, the safest option would just be compounding back into the base pool. So if you're in the GLMR USDC pool, for example, you are earning rewards in Stella, which is the DEX token for the StellaSwap DEX. These Stella rewards, you can then swap straight back for GLMR and USDC. You can take them here under swap, and you can just swap these Stella rewards back and create an LP. So you probably want to do this once a week. Once a day is overkill. But if you come in once a week, you can take your rewards and then you can put these rewards back into the LP that you wish to accumulate. That's the slightly safer strategy. That's if you want to accumulate the base tokens. The riskier strategy has just came out, and I'm not necessarily recommending this to everyone, but for you degens, maybe you want to consider putting half of your Stella rewards back into the Stella farm because you're earning 134% for staking your Stella. So we know all rewards are in Stella. So if you're bullish on the Stella token, then taking a percentage, let's say 50% of your rewards and coming over to stake under Stella and staking it here, you just select your Stella rewards and stake it. It's simply really easy to do. Then you can earn 134%. So that is a little more degen because you need to be bullish on the Stella token to execute that strategy. But I think it's a strategy that could be good for people that are willing to take a little bit of extra risk. Remember, that is much, much riskier. It's quite degen, but maybe a percentage could be worth a play there. But if you want to play it safe, what I am personally doing is just compounding back into the base pools. So smash the like button if you guys enjoyed that strategy. That they're very high APRs. APRs we probably haven't seen in quite a long time, at least not on an EVM compatible chain. Because I consider Moonbeam to be, I wouldn't call it safe, but it's one of the safer narratives under DOT. So it's definitely one that if you're bullish on the DOTSAMA ecosystem, it's one to look to get involved in. But obviously don't ape. The price is up a lot. So continue to DCA, catch the pullbacks, and potentially maybe get involved with staking some of your other tokens in the meantime. Stables, Fantom USDC, Luna, etc. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed. Remember, if you want to win $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, you need to sign up using the link in the description. We're going to be running it only for a week, so make sure you get involved while you can, and I will be announcing the winners next week when I'm back in Cape Town over the course of the conference. You guys have time to sign up, but make sure you get onto that quick, and we'll start choosing the winners next week. Good luck, everyone. I hope you have a lovely day. I will see you from Miami. No stream tomorrow because I'll be in Miami, and then I'll be streaming live from the Bitcoin conference. Super excited for the conference. I hope there's an Apple announcement, but if not, I'm sure we'll still enjoy it anyway. Have a lovely day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.